welcome to Courtside with Caledonia, where today I'm joined by Scotland's own fan favourite, all-round player, stalwart person, the legend that is Robyn Lewis. Robyn, welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
You're welcome. You told me what to write, so I hope you enjoy just how I put it across there. But anyway, let's dive right in. There's obviously been the big announcement, much to people's surprise, shock, dismay, horror, that you are in fact retiring.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
I don't know. Maybe it's not a shock to me because I've sort of known since the start of the season that this was probably going to be the last one. It just feels like the right time for me. Yeah, ready for different things maybe in my life. Been so grateful for all the years I've had in the game and to play at the British level for a really long time in this league for multiple different teams. And it just feels like the right time for me to close that chapter, especially with even younger players coming through. They're ready now to take that next step. So I feel ready to kind of move on and do some other things.
It blows my mind because to me, you are the young player. So I'm like, why are you retiring when I'm still 26?
I know.
Like, you must still be like 18. But anyway, you sort of touched on your journey there, and I actually looked up on Google. 18 miles away was probably roughly Erskine, where your journey started as an Eagle. So sort of take us through your career and that snapshot version of those clubs you've played at and how you got to here.
Yeah, so Erskine Eagles, I started playing because my friend wanted to go to a session and I actually wasn't for it at all. I was really sporty as a child, so I don't know why, but I just wasn't keen. But she dragged me along and then loved it, stayed invested through that, and that was sort of the pathway into St Mirren, the local team at that time. Grew up playing for them and was kind of involved in the Scotland stuff during that, and then got to sort of leaving school. There wasn't gladiators, there wasn't anything like that here, so I took a year out from school, played my last year of under-18 at home, and then decided to go down to Loughborough to play for lesser riders and for the university while doing a degree there, much to my mother's dismay at the cost of tuition fees, but we did it anyway, and played there for 3 years, came back up, did my Masters as part of Caledonia Pride at Edinburgh Uni when that was set up. Went back down the other way, played for Cardiff for a few seasons. Yeah, literally just ticking off all the main bits of the country. Back down to Cardiff, spent 3 seasons there. That was during COVID, so it was a little bit turbulent. By the end of that, was definitely ready for a break from playing. Just kind of got to COVID and I wasn't necessarily working a job that I was fully happy with, mainly to compromise on playing basketball. And when the basketball wasn't there, I was ready for something else. So took a year out, was sailing into retirement already, and then Gladiators came knocking and said, I mean, it sounded unbelievable what they were planning to set up at that point. It was sort of unheard of up here that they wanted a fully professional franchise and they were putting money in, building a facility. That was really a no-brainer. If you told me that when I was 11 playing at the Eagles, that would have been like a total dream. Like, I probably would have laughed, actually. So back we came, and here we are.
And what a journey it sort of has been. And like you say, your journey from the Gladiators, I'm sure someone like Lisa Palombo, getting in contact to sitting in their own podcast studio. I mean, could you quite have seen that? Like, what's your Gladiators journey look like?
Yeah, it's been, I think anyone that was with us sort of that first year, we were training at different venues every night. We were just kind of cobbling together. Everyone was trying to get a gist of what it was really going to be like.
A lot of running.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really remember is a lot of running.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where you were, you ran.
Yeah, a lot of running. Trying to balance a full-time job with the playing, which was difficult. Yeah, and I think just the journey the club's been on in that time to establish itself so quickly within sort of British basketball domestically, and then even with ambitions in Europe, has been quite crazy, honestly. It's kind of built itself up very, very rapidly, and to be a small part of that has been a dream come true, to be honest.
I think you're underselling yourself there saying small part, but anyway, so what has it meant for you to be able to finish your career here and sort of be like, do it on your terms and be like, I feel I'm where I want to be? And how important is that to do it in front of friends and family?
Yeah, the friends and family part's really huge. Like, I've spoken to a lot of people about this. Like, the club is now a central part of my whole family's life. Like, especially my grandparents' life. They come here every week. They're in a really safe space. They socialise with people. Yeah, they're always there.
Is it you that's a fan favourite, or is it
them
that's fan favourite?
Honestly, I think it is. The amount of people they talk to after games, I'm in the queue just waiting to speak to them. But yeah, it's really become this whole thing. And I think I never thought I would get to play at home, like so local,
Mhm.
in front of fans and people that I've grown up with. And a lot of the girls that I played with when I was
Mhm.
younger, it would have been crazy to think that this would even be a possibility.
Mhm.
So I never take that for granted. Like, home games are my favourite thing ever. I just love them. I think it's so good to see people in the stands and to see that the game's growing. Like, again, 4 years ago, I think we were talking the other day, like one of our games, we'd sold something like 27 tickets. And
Mhm.
now, like last week, we're up to 1,300, and there's still space for that to grow. But there has been growth, and I think it's really important we recognise that, and we take time to celebrate that.
No, and I don't know if people know, but your mum likes to bake, doesn't she?
hmm
Is the baking gonna continue, or is the Gladiators women's team gonna be a set of cakes down after each game?
Yeah, I don't know. She's gone away from the cakes a wee bit recently, but certainly when I played away, if my parents ever came to watch a game, there'd be a full tray bake. It was like a big moment. Um, but yeah, she'll still be baking, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll maybe need to bring some along when
You
we
need to get
come
her
and
to swing by the
watch.
commentary booth.
Aye,
She'll
my
have a
problem is
chat.
I might, if I'm coming back to watch, I might just be eating them while I'm watching the game. That's maybe not as good, but yeah, she'll still bring things along.
And we've obviously seen your role develop off the court as well. Obviously, big time player when you're on the floor, and you've taken sort of the lead as that physical preparation coach. And how have you enjoyed that? And has that brought a different style of pressure? Because obviously there's the on court pressure, but you've been used to that. It's been a couple of decades. But how does that match up with that off court pressure now of your teammates, effectively?
Yeah. It's definitely been a juggle. I think if there was a thrown in at the deep end, that's certainly what it was to start with. But I've really enjoyed it. I think it gives you a newfound respect for people that have done that for you, whether it's strength and
Mhm.
conditioning coaching or a different type of coaching at other times in your career. You're maybe not quite as aware of the background work that goes into a proper delivery of that. I've become very aware of that the last few years. But really, it's been a joy. It's given me different relationships with some of my teammates in a really positive
Mhm.
way. And while that can be challenging sometimes, trying to like separate from court into different areas, the girls have been really responsive to that, which has been super helpful. And yeah, I think it's just added more strings to my bow, given a different kind of perspective on things. And I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Do you think ever people think, oh, that's because I didn't pass her at the weekend? She's got me doing like 5 sets of five of the sled push or something.
I hope not. I did do like a wee April Fool's the other week, and I told them we were doing a 20 court run, which is like a fitness test we do at the start of the season. We'd had like a really difficult week's training. They were all knackered, and I was like, at warm up ended. I said, right, like on the line, off we go, just 20 up and backs. And they were fuming. I've never seen them so rage, and they were all deaf staring at me. And I was like, 3, 2, 1, April Fools. But I think they were quite, they took it in good
I
part,
was
to
about
be
to
fair.
say,
Most of the time, I think we're able to separate, and if not, it's just about trying to have some of the difficult conversations, whether that's with players or with staff, because also they'll have frustrations with
mhm.
me as a player, and then we're trying to work together to achieve the same aim in other areas. So it's a learning curve. There's good days and bad days, but definitely more good than bad.
And it's something we talk about as athletes and as players. It's like that skill set you're developing. So you've really had to work on that. Like you say, building relationships positively, having difficult conversations with people. Like, have you felt that you've taken a lot of skills from your early playing career into these various careers you've had alongside basketball?
Yeah, definitely. I think even like this job now, if you'd asked me to do this 10 years ago, I would have really struggled. Even just from a confidence
Hmm.
perspective, that's where basketball gives you so much, doesn't it, in terms of that soft skill set. But definitely, I've had so many jobs to try and like juggle with playing,
Hmm.
like worked in a school, worked at a housing association, yeah, went to a charity, now back here. So there's been a lot of different areas. But I think, yeah, just that connection with people, it's such a diverse game. You meet people from so many different places in the world and different walks of life. And that's important no matter what space you go
Hmm.
into, to be able to connect with people on that level. And that's what I love the most about my job, for sure.
And it's just because it's something we talk about a lot, isn't it? That females in sport tend to go on to be female leaders, and you've kind of just put a box on that, really, haven't you? Because you're like, it's true. That's exactly what's happened. That's what you've managed to do. And sort of leading into that, what have been your highs on the court in your career? I mean, there was obviously been the trophy win. There's been other things, maybe winning the Super League back when you're under 14. I don't
Yeah.
know if you got those heady heights, but what have been your personal achievements and team achievements throughout your career?
Yeah, I think like national team selection's always a big one, whether it's like GB20s or Scotland stuff every time you pull on that jersey, sort of a big deal, and certainly coming here and bits of silverware, but honestly just the small moments that you share every day. I think when you look back on the season and you chat through things with teammates, it's quite often like daft little things that have happened that have caused a laugh, or but things you would miss if you weren't invested as part of the long-term journey and you weren't spending that amount of time with people. So yeah, there's like personal things like trophies, and last year was a huge success for the club. Very lucky to be a part of that, but definitely the journey with that group of people to get there. I don't think many people probably got much of an insight into the November that came before that, when we were on the road and hardly sleeping and playing Euro Cup and playing domestic, and in those small pockets sometimes of desperation and kind of difficult moments comes some gold dust, I think.
You're teasing me here, like anything you can share with the wider audience, these gold dust moments.
I don't know, there's just funny things, isn't
anyone
there?
eating like 10 ketchups because they couldn't find something they want to eat, or
no. Although Lisa Palombo did come with us on one trip, and
she's still within touch.
She's stressed now, isn't she? And I think the travel, and it was so funny. I think everyone was sort of sitting in this cafe and we're like waiting to come home. We've hardly slept, and you know what it's like when you don't sleep, you just crave like random things, don't you? So it was like the weirdest arrangement of foods that people were coming back with. Like some, and I say this all the time, like even when we're at the services, it's like people stumble off the bus at like 2 a.m. delirious, like we don't even know what's going on. They stumble into the services, they're picking up random things that they would never in a sane situation even think about purchasing, let alone actually purchase. Like Ella and Bryn bought 2 ducks this year from Wicked. So one was Elphaba and one was
in the locker room. I wondered what the backstory was.
Well, that's the backstory. Service station madness, and they're now permanently in the locker room.
I think that'd be quite a good thing to find out from others. What's the weirdest thing they've ever bought in a service station?
Yeah, I'll ask that. Quick fire questions next week. I'll be around.
Courtside with Robyn. You're obviously a very important role model in the club and someone the younger players looked up to, male and female, and with the Blues players, and we have seen you at multiple games, you know, down supporting the girls with the other teammates. How important do you think that is, you being here as a role model?
It's been my privilege, honestly, with specifically the younger players we have in our roster. I'm very emotionally attached to them. They're like my little sisters. They really keep me going. They're a resilient bunch. And it's been so lovely to be part of their growth and their journey, seeing them in a situation that you wished you'd had when you were that age, but not just settling for that, really trying to grab it with both hands and go for it and push on. Yeah, I definitely have so much time, like especially for like Emma, Alex and Kerry. Those 3 kids are just, I still call them kids.
Yeah.
I said to them, I'll be calling you kids when you're 50.
When you're sitting here and they're sitting here, like, can you be retired?
Definitely. But I think like at the back end of my career, like I talk often, I'm never a player that's scoring 25 and popping off and being an MVP. That's not really been my career, but the joy in sharing the journey with, especially now, younger players coming through and sort of being that role model and showing like you can do it, you can play at a pro level here, like the path's there for you. That matters the most to me now at the stage that I'm at. And really I've loved it. I've loved getting to be part of them, and I'll be fans of them for as long as they continue to play. Like they're just brilliant people.
Do you have a favourite?
Oh, can't say that. No, they're a trio. They come as a pack of 3, always.
And so that kind of led me into the next thing. Like, what would be your advice, you know, to not necessarily those 3 specifically, because like you say, you have that really important working relationship with them, but younger players or people maybe thinking about Blues programs or high performance, or even whether to maybe start playing basketball. Maybe someone will come across this randomly. You know, what would you say to them?
Just don't be afraid to take leaps, and the leaps can be really scary. Like even when I first went down to Loughborough, I was petrified at the thought of like moving away and being away from my family and questioning whether I was good enough for that level. And I think just do it. I think a lot of people connect with me as a player because I'm tiny and there's an underdog story there. I think in Scotland specifically, we like the underdog story. We are the underdog. And when people see me on the court, that's what they say. They're like, she doesn't look like she should be there. She doesn't quite fit in. She's tiny compared to everyone else.
You totally do yourself to say apart from like the amazing fitness, the ability to hustle on the ball, listen, high basketball cute. But you're totally right. Don't deserve to be there.
But like, I think just that, like take the jumps, like immerse yourself in situations that sometimes seem terrifying, to be honest, but like you'll blossom because of it. And yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. I wouldn't have thought I'd be sat here right now. It's a bit surreal,
But
to
then
be
you took the
honest.
opportunities, you took the chances. You've obviously
Yeah.
worked very hard. I feel like you've gleamed over that. We were talking before we came on, hopefully, but about how you were like, before I found weights, etc. So you've obviously worked hard to get to where you are. Yes, opportunities arose, and yes, you took them, but you must have worked hard as well to get there.
Yeah, I think I enjoy that part of it. Like, I really enjoy the grind of actually being a pro. And for a lot of
Mhm.
people, especially superstars, that can be the bit they hate,
Mhm.
the monotonous day to day practice again, weights again, next
Mhm.
day, eating properly, sleeping properly. Whereas I quite enjoy that structure in my life and like working towards a bigger goal. So that's maybe made it a little bit easier in that respect. But I've always kind of just applied myself 100%, never thinking that I was going to be the best player in the world, but wanting to be as good as I could be and be as good a teammate as I could
Mhm.
be. Yeah, so I think I've tried my best to do that throughout.
I think you have, and there's always a space in a team, isn't there, for a good teammate? And I think that can be such an underrated thing. Like you talked about, well, I'm not going to be the MVP because I'm not scoring 25 and 5, but is that necessarily your MVP, or is it the person who's working hard in every practice, pushing their teammates? Like, that's those soft skills as well that maybe younger players coming through don't quite see, do they?
Yeah, and your role changes so much. Like,
Mhm.
I've been so aware of that this year. We're quite quiet as a group, and Erin retired last year, and that was a big voice for us that
Mhm.
left, and big shoes to fill. I've tried my best to fill them at times, not done the job perfectly always, but I think you change the way you view the game changes, and what you're prepared to contribute to a team
Mhm.
circumstance changes. Um, yeah, I don't get it perfect every day. We're all human. There's all days where we could have
Mhm.
been a better teammate, but I do try very hard to be a good teammate. I think it was something I like to pride myself
Mhm.
on, and I hope when players leave here that that's what they think about Caledonia as a
Mhm.
franchise, that there was good people here that tried to do the best things for them during their time here.
Mhm.
I think that's really important.
And I like that you've said it's not about being perfect, because I think so often there's so much pressure, isn't there, on youngsters, whether it's in this pathway or another, to be perfect, to be the best. So then they're not taking those same risks, but actually it's okay to fail as well.
Oh
You know,
yeah, if you count the amount of times we've all like ugly cried over a small
what?
orange ball going through a hoop,
Or not going through the hoop,
yeah, or not, but actually, yeah, more
or going
importantly, not
past your
going through a
ear.
hoop, yeah, there'd be a lot, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think it does teach you like, okay, pick yourself back up and you go again, and you try to keep hammering down the door, and some days the door slams back in your face, but then you try again the next day, and
And it
yeah.
develops that resilience, doesn't it? Because everyone has to retire at some point. So going into your career, wherever it's going to be, um, yeah, you've then built up more of that resilience, haven't you? And nicely, what next?
Oh,
Talking of offices, pathways,
I
being
know.
here.
I know. I definitely still want to keep exploring my strength and conditioning journey. I
Mhm.
think I've done such like a 180 from the career I was in before. So just trying to figure that out, I
Mhm.
think. Getting married, doing all the adult stuff, I know. So yeah, just some life bits, but
Just some life
professionally,
bits.
life bits, marriage,
Maybe cut that. Just
yeah,
marriage. That's fine.
just marriage. Yeah, marriage, life bits, bit of career progression, hopefully. Just seeing what opportunities come up, really. I definitely won't be a stranger. The club is still my family. I'll be here in some capacity, whether that's courtside or in the stands as a fan.
Slushy, push you
Yeah,
out.
maybe I draw the line at that. Although if there's free ones going as a substitute, maybe.
We'll see if you're in here and you're like buzzing
Yeah,
on the sugar.
mascot. You never know.
I
There's
don't, now you've said that every game
opportunities
we
are
can't see you.
endless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are going to think, is that
Is
Robyn
that
in there?
looking a wee bit smaller this
Well, it's
week?
not, because Maximus and Minimus are legends in their own right. We
Yeah.
just didn't have them here today. And Sunday, the 19th of April, is going to be your send off. Hoping for obviously another record breaking crowd. And how much do having those fans there? Like you said, you've played in front of 27, you'll have played in front of two men and a dog, back in the day. But
Yeah.
how important is it for you and the team as a whole to sort of round out the regular season with that big fan base again?
Yeah, I think it's huge for us. Like, we have players come to the club now because they love the setup, the
Hmm.
facility, and it's actually a big pull for us even signing players, let
Hmm.
alone like getting people through the door for games. So it's just an amazing atmosphere on a game day. We love playing at home. We definitely feel like we have a home court
Hmm.
advantage this year with our fans. It's a big push for us. So yeah, it'd be huge. So if you're free on Sunday the 19th, please be at PlaySport. We would love to have you.
and the playoff spot is secured, meaning, a game on May the 3rd, a win then, if you then get a win in the semi-final, would see you guys through to the final at the O2. How would that be for you to sort of cap out your career at the O2?
Yeah, pretty crazy. I think we've definitely wanted that the last few years, and
Mhm,
those heartbreak moments in sport have happened to us a couple of times the last couple of seasons, and that's really difficult when it's your last
mhm,
game of the season. So it would mean everything for us to get there, not just even broadly speaking for this team that we have right now. The girls have worked so hard this
mhm,
year, but nothing's ever given in basketball, is it? So it's one game at a time, and the nature of our playoffs is very cutthroat. It's
mhm,
one game and done. So you need to have a good day. If you don't have a good day, you're going home. So it would be amazing for us. I think amazing for the entire franchise to be at the O2. I mean, what a cool place to play.
mhm.
Still remember going to watch the Olympics and stuff when I was a wee baby. So yeah, it would mean a lot to everyone, I think.
And so, like, what a journey you have been on, both obviously yourself and what you've taken us through today. And it's not over yet. There's still plenty to go. But any final messages?
Oof,
Oh,
that's hard. I
I know. Just
know.
put it out there.
On the
Just a final.
spot.
So I did say plural messages, so you don't need to
Messages.
wrap it into 4 words or anything.
Um, I guess to this franchise, thank you for
Mhm,
taking a risk and, well, maybe not taking a risk, but for giving me an opportunity on the court and professionally that I never thought I would have had in a million years. To everyone that's come to the games and offered support, thank you. Yeah, it's been like a really incredible
mm.
time over the last 4 years, and it's almost that like bonus degree. Me and my family call it like the bonus degree you didn't think you were going to do. It's just been a basketball degree this time, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's been really special, and I feel very fortunate. So thank you to everyone that's made that possible and made it possible for a little 5'4" girl from Paisley to live out her dream at home. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for your time. Good luck on the 19th and obviously in the playoffs as well.
Thanks.